Abbey of Saint John at Müstair. The Abbey of Saint John at Müstair, located in the village of Müstair in Canton Graubünden, Switzerland, is an early medieval Benedictine monastery dating to the late 8th century CE that became an abbey in 1163 CE. It is renowned across Europe and the world for its beautiful, intact medieval design and decor, and UNESCO designated it as a World Heritage Site in 1983 CE as a result of its splendid mix of Carolingian figurative murals, Romanesque frescoes, and ancient stuccos. For over 1200 years, the Abbey of Saint John at Müstair has remained a Benedictine religious community. Origins: the Abbey of Saint John in Müstair, German, Benedictine and Kloster Street, Johann, French, Abbey Saint Jean the Surs, Italian, Monastero Benedettino di San Giovanni. Romance: Claustra Benedictina di San John is set deep within the southern Swiss Alps in the Val Müstair, which is in Switzerland's Graubünden canton. Müstair is the only Swiss territory to be in the Adige Basin, and it is Switzerland's easternmost village. The town of Müstair lies very close to the Swiss-Italian border in South Tyrol, and it is also close to the Swiss-Austrian border at Neuburg, Austria. The Abbey of Saint John in Müstair is roughly 130 kilometers 80 miles from Chur, Switzerland, and 65 kilometers 40 miles from Murano. According to local traditions in Graubünden, Charlemagne, king of the Franks from 768-81 CE, king of the Lombards from 774-81 CE, and Holy Roman Emperor from 800-81 CE founded the monastery at Müstair in the late 8th century CE. Legend states that as Charlemagne traversed the Umbriel Pass between the villages of Bormio and Santa Maria following his coronation as king of the Lombards in nearby Italy in 774 CE, he survived a snowstorm. There and then, Charlemagne decided to establish a monastery on the spot to commemorate his miraculous survival. Dendrochronology confirms that the wood used in the construction of the monastery was felled around c. 775 CE, so the legend could indeed be true. It is likely, however, that it was the Bishop of Chur who founded the monastery at Charlemagne's royal behest. Chur was the traditional capital of Graubünden and remains the canton's largest city too. Aside from any miraculous survival and piety, Charlemagne undoubtedly recognized the region in and around Müstair as one of strategic and cultural importance. Lying between the trade and pilgrimage routes, which crisscrossed the Alps between Switzerland, Germany, Austria, and Italy, Müstair was an ideal location for a Benedictine monastery that could operate as a hospice, accommodating pilgrims and travelers in the regions of Valtellina, Tyrol and Engaddi. Northeast. As a religious institution and center, the monastery would be able to tend to the religious needs of the local community as well. History: the manuscript dated to c. 850 CE from the Abbey Cathedral of St. Gallen confirms that 45 monks lived in the monastery at Müstair around that time. Although many religious properties were sacked and looted when the roving armies of Muslim invaders pillaged Alpine passes in what is present-day France, Switzerland, and Italy from c. 850-975 CE, the Abbey of Saint John in Müstair was spared harm or deprivation. Monks nonetheless fortified and reinforced existing structures throughout the 10th century CE. By c. 900 CE, secular and ecclesiastical elites attest to the importance and power of the Benedictine religious community of Saint John at Müstair, as the monastery served the Bishop of Chur as a secular residence and administration center. In 1163 CE, the monastery became an abbey, and although there were no monks at the abbey after that time, it retains none even now. Subsequent abbesses oversaw the construction of new buildings and renovations over the next 900 years, as the wealth and fame of the Abbey of Saint John increased across the Alps. New rooms, the chapel, a vaulted ceiling, and an impressive abbess apartment complex reflect the power and prestige the abbey delineated to its visitors during the Middle Ages and early modern era. Although the Swiss Reformation and the proclamation of the island's Articles 1524 CE and 1526 CE diets that curbed the power of the Church threatened the abbey's resources, the abbey and its artistic treasures survived the advance of Swiss Protestantism in Graubünden unscathed, unlike other Catholic edifices in the Old Swiss Confederacy.